Mai had just moved into a small studio apartment on the 12th floor of Maple Crest, an old building known for having the best view in downtown Seattle. Outside the window, strings of Christmas lights blanketed the rain-soaked streets, their reflections glimmering on the red brick pavement below. The distant hum of traffic mixed with the faint chime of wind bells swaying in the cold air drifting in from Elliott Bay. Her apartment was barely 30 square meters, yet it felt warmer than she'd imagined. Soft yellow light spilled from the lead string wrapped around the balcony railing, casting tiny flickers of gold that danced across the wall. A small Christmas tree stood neatly by the window, decorated with silver baubles and a wooden star at its peak. On the low coffee table, a steaming mug of cocoa sat beside a stack of old books she'd brought from her previous place in Portland. The second-hand Bluetooth speaker Mai had bought at Pike Place Market played Autumn Leaves by Nat King Cole, the smooth jazz melody curling through the air, mingling with the scent of pine wood and cinnamon from a freshly lit candle. She sank into the armchair beside the window, eyes drifting toward the city, wrapped in a thin veil of fog, her heartbeat gradually easing. It was everything she had dreamed of during those lonely years. A quiet Christmas, free of noise, free of anyone else. Just her, the music, and the dim glow of Seattle in the winter night. Her roommate had gone home for the holidays, leaving the apartment entirely empty. Mai poured herself a bit of red wine, wrapped up in a faux fur blanket, and watched the lights flicker across the balcony. Faraway car horns faded into the slow rhythm of the cold night. "At last," she whispered. "A Christmas that's truly peaceful." But just as her head sank into the sofa cushion, the lights outside flickered. 3 blinks, pause, 2. Mai frowned. She looked toward the balcony. Everything seemed normal. "Probably just the wiring," she muttered, turning back to the couch. The jazz continued to play, but somewhere within the melody, something was off. She could swear she heard another sound mixed in, faint, like someone breathing softly behind the trumpet notes. She started to rise to check when her phone buzzed violently on the table. A message from an unknown number lit up the screen. "Come to the balcony." She froze. For a split second, the air in the room felt several degrees colder. Mai pulled the curtain aside, and her heart clenched. Outside, on the balcony, a tall, thin figure stood perfectly still. Its head hung low, skin dark as smoke, eyes glinting with a dull, ashen light. It stood there beneath the blinking Christmas lights. 3 blinks, pause, 2, staring straight at her. Mai staggered back, heart pounding, palms slick with sweat. "No, that's impossible." She turned away, snatched her phone. When she looked again, the balcony was empty. Only the flickering light remained, casting a sickly yellow glow across her face. She took a deep breath, convincing herself it was her imagination. But when she opened the photo gallery on her phone, her breath hitched. A new photo had been taken, just seconds ago. It showed her apartment, captured from the balcony, facing inward. The sofa, the blanket, the wine glass, and herself, sitting there, head slightly tilted, eyes staring straight at the lens. Timestamp 12:02 a.m. Immediately, another message appeared. I saw you. The room went dark. A loud thump sounded from the balcony, hard enough to rattle the glass door. Mai flicked on her phone flashlight, and for the briefest moment, the beam caught a shape, a shadow crouched in the corner of the room. She screamed and fell backward. When the light steadied, there was nothing. Only the echo of her heartbeat thudding against her ribs. The next morning, Mai went downstairs to find the building's security guard. The elderly man gave her a hesitant glance. That apartment, he asked. 12th floor, unit 12-6. She nodded. He paused for a long moment before lowering his voice. There used to be a girl living there, alone. She went missing on Christmas night 3 years ago. The police never found her body. Only the Christmas lights they stayed on all night. Blinking, strange pattern. Dot, over and over. Nah. Mai left the lobby, her chest tight. That evening, she tried to forget, turned on all the lights, played music, started cleaning. But when she stepped into the bathroom, the mirror was covered in fog. And through the mist, a message slowly appeared, written in shaky strokes as if traced by a cold fingertip. Stay. She stumbled back, her heel striking the sink. Her heart pounded so hard, she could hear it in her ears. Under the pale bathroom light, the foggy mirror quivered, new words forming. I see you. They trembled, as though written by someone standing right behind her. Panicked, Mai wiped the glass with her hand until the words vanished. It's just condensation, just steam, she whispered, trying to calm herself. She turned on the tap, splashed cold water onto her face. The chill stung her skin. When she looked up, through the mist, a dark silhouette appeared in the mirror, standing directly behind her. Her spine locked. She spun around, nothing, only the steady drip of water and the faint whistling wind leaking through the hallway vent outside apartment 12-6. Swallowing hard, she turned back toward the mirror. The shadow was still there, closer. Its eyes, blank and white, stared into hers through the reflection. Then, crack! A jagged fissure split across the mirror, the sound shrieking like nails raking down a wall. Mai screamed, falling backward, her palms scraping the cold tile. She scrambled to her feet and bolted out of the bathroom, tripping against the table's edge. The jazz music from the living room played on, calm, undisturbed, as though nothing had happened. That night, she couldn't bring herself to turn off the lights. She set up several mini cameras, the kind vloggers use, around the room. One facing the bed, one near the door, and another toward the mirror. She connected them to her laptop, set them to record continuously. The only sounds were the soft hum of the fan and her uneven breathing. Wrapped in a blanket on the sofa, she stared at the ceiling until exhaustion finally pulled her under near 3 a.m. Morning came, gray and dim. She opened her laptop with trembling hands. The footage showed her, asleep on the couch, bathed in warm light. Then, from beneath the bed, something moved. A long, thin, twisting shadow crawled out. its limbs bending wrong, its joints crackling with every motion. It crept toward her, closer, until its face hovered inches above hers. A dry, rasping breath echoed through the camera mic, so cold the lens fogged over. Then, the room's light flared, the screen flickered, and the image cut out. Only static. Mai sat frozen, tears spilling down her face. She knew now. That hadn't been a dream. The next morning, the video was gone. In its place was a single file, May 12, 25, MP4, exactly 3 minutes long. When she opened it, she saw herself sitting before the camera, smiling. A hollow smile with eyes utterly lifeless. Panicked, she yanked every plug from the wall and turned off the lights. But the radio suddenly switched on by itself, playing, "Silent night, stay with me tonight." At first, the voice was faint. Just a few soft jazz notes, slightly off-key, like someone trying to imitate Nat King Cole. Then it warped, strangled, turned into a guttural moan, a voice gasping for air through a crushed throat. Each word, autumn, leaves, dragged out into a warped, horrific wail, blending with static. Mai rushed to the outlet, yanking the cord. Click, Doka. Still, the singing went on, filling the air, source unknown. The room grew icy. Her breath turned to visible mist, though the heater had long been off. The air carried a faint metallic tang, and beneath it, the acrid smell of burning wires. She backed against the wall, gripping the table edge with trembling hands. A soft hiss came from inside the wall, then a dry snap, and every light in the building died. The city outside vanished into darkness. Only the Christmas lights on her balcony glowed, blinking in that same rhythm. 3 blinks, pause, 2, over and over. 3, 2, Mai whispered. Something cold slithered down her spine, as if the lights were answering her. She took slow steps toward the window. The floorboards creaked beneath her, echoing like footsteps that weren't her own. She grasped the handle. A chill breeze brushed her cheek and pulled the door open. The balcony was gone. Where the railing and the view of downtown Seattle, the shining Space Needle, should have been, there was only a vast black void, bottomless. Wind roared upward, carrying faint murmurs, like voices whispering from the pit below. She started to close the door, then felt something above her. A damp chill slid down her neck. She looked up. A face hung upside down from the ceiling. Pale, waxy skin stretched tight, wide, pupilless eyes, a mouth split ear to ear, black and torn down to the throat. The stench hit her, rot and decay. Then, crack. The head twisted 180 degrees, bones snapping one by one. Its eyes never left hers. Mai screamed, voice catching in her throat, and bolted for the front door. Her hands shook too violently to undo the lock. At last, she slammed it open. But outside wasn't the 12th floor hallway. No stairwell, no elevator, no lights. It was her apartment. The sofa, the tiny Christmas tree, the golden LED lights flickering, all the same. Except there was another May inside. Standing with her back to the door, head tilted, smiling slowly. The same sofa, the same tree, the same blinking pattern. 3, pause, 2. Mai's breathing quickened. From the corner of the room, the dark shape crawled out from the TV, limbs dragging, body contorted like a spider. "You can't leave. You belong here." The voice echoed everywhere, or maybe inside her head. The lights flickered violently. The TV flashed, then went dark. The room warped, the walls pulsing as though they were breathing. My scream aimed, grabbed a metal rod and smashed the mirror. In the shards, another May stared back, blank-faced, white-eyed, grinning. Then silence. Only the crackle of electricity. The room returned to normal light. The shadow was gone. Mai collapsed, sobbing, heart racing. She snatched her phone and fled the apartment. The next morning, her roommate Lena returned from her holiday trip. The door stood wide open. The TV was still on, showing May sitting on the sofa, smiling emptily. "Mai," Lena called softly. No answer. Mai's phone lay on the table. The screen lit up, a new message. Sent from Mai's own number. "Come to the balcony." Lena looked up. The Christmas lights outside blinked. 3, pause, 2. On the glass door, a black, burned handprint marked the surface. Beside it, scrawled with a fingernail, were the words, "I'm still here." That night, from outside the building, people saw hundreds of windows glowing with holiday light. All except one. 12th floor, apartment 126, Tashtiwu. Its light flickered in that same strange rhythm. 3, pause, 2, again and again, like a silent message. And through the dim golden glow, a silhouette could be seen standing motionless by the window, watching the street below. If you listen long enough, beneath the carols and the winter wind, you can hear a faint, distorted whisper drifting from the 12th floor. "You can't leave. Merry Christmas."